Hey, you! Yeah, you! Welcome to another episode in my series Graphite Stocks, where I hope to one day have analyzed every single graphite stock on the stock market. Today's topic is one that has been discussed extensively on this channel, Gratomic. And this junior mining company ain't no slouch. In fact, I believe that this company is one of the best high risk, high reward investment opportunities out there. As a quick teaser, I believe there is a significant chance that Gratomic 20x's in value over the next handful of years. Hopefully that grabbed your attention. Now let's start the video off with a company overview. And this slide from Gratomic's investors presentation gives us an amazing overview of the company's fully owned assets. First up, we have the Buckingham property in Canada. Gratomic actually already has a resource estimation available for this property, and as far as we investors are aware, the company is actually actively looking to either sell or spin off this property. So I personally do not think that Gratomic is looking to develop this property into a mine themselves. The second property, Capim Grosso in Brazil. For this one we actually also have an NI 43-101 technical report, which tells us quite a bit about the property. More drilling is ongoing as we speak, and the company is actively looking at the engineering, planning and construction that is required to get this property into an operational mine. According to Gratomic themselves, Capim Grosso might actually become a graphite money-making machine by 2024 or 2025. Which isn't actually that far out. And now the last property, Arkham in Namibia. This one is built different. It is actually a vein graphite resource, which supposedly is enormous and also super pure. For example, the company recently released this news report, in which they stated that one of their graphite veins was actually so freaking pure, it couldn't be measured by the equipment they were using. It came in excess of 50% purity, which is mental. But for this property, the company actually hasn't filed an NI 43-101 resource estimation yet. So we do not definitely know how large or how pure the resource is. What we do know, however, is that Gratomic has already constructed a processing facility on Arkham. So it seems that the company internally is betting on Arkham becoming a massive success. Important to note regarding the Arkham processing facility, the company originally released this news report in April 2022. The company stated that Gratomic has achieved its first product in bag milestone by generating 1 metric ton of material that was produced and transferred to inventory. This material will be sent to SGS Lakefield for product development in the fulfillment of the company's obligation to modify the product to suit the need of end users. And with that, Arno Brandt, the CEO of Gratomic, was also cited in a handful of interviews that Q4 of 2022 was the end goal of getting Arkham operational. That milestone wasn't achieved, obviously, since it is currently Q1 2023 and the processing facility still isn't operational. Now, as far as I'm aware, this delay was because of a handful of parts which were required after a slight remodeling of the plant. And it seems from communications from the company that the current timeline is operations in the first half of 2023, so most likely Q2. Or perhaps if more delays persist, we're looking at Q3-ish. We'll see. Anyways, that in essence is what Gratomic is. 3 different properties, each with different timelines and plans. I do want to highlight that Gratomic recently closed a private placement, and I quote, "With the successful completion of this offering, we foresee a smooth transition into production at the Arkham Graphite project in Namibia." So it seems that management is confident they have enough liquid assets to finally get Arkham operational. The last thing I want to highlight before I dive into my price prediction and explaining how and why Gratomic could 20x in less than 4 years is this. Gratomic strategic partners in TM2, which is a metals marketplace, and Forge Nano, which is a company which has really interesting coating technologies. And lastly, its partnership with Graphite, which is an anode material producer. And that in essence is Gratomic. A junior mining company which should be in the final stretch of getting its first graphite mine operational. The plant is real. We know it works and we know Gratomic has the cash. Now all that just needs to come together for a final push into operations. Cool, now that leads me to my price prediction. And my prediction starts off here. A couple of months ago, the company shared that they hope to be producing these graphite amounts from their 2 properties by 2025. We will be conservative and assume they achieve this figure by 2026. So we will be giving them a bit more time. I have slapped on a slightly higher price than the current market conform graphite prices, since we are expecting graphite prices to increase significantly over the next handful of years. And these figures result in assumption number 1 that Gratomic will be able to do more than $200 million in revenue by 2026. And now we can use this figure to get to a future market cap figure, meaning how much the entire company should be worth by 2026. And we do that by using a future price to sales ratio. In this case, I'm using a multiple of 5. You could always go lower if you wish, but I believe this to be conservative enough. And this future revenue figure combined with this future price to sales ratio leads me to my prediction that Gratomic might just be worth more than $1 billion by 2026. Now, how much will Gratomic be worth on a share price basis? Well, for that we will have to calculate how many shares outstanding there will be by 2026. Currently, Gratomic has 206 million shares outstanding without taking the recent private placement into account. If we assume 30% dilution on top of the $206 million figure shown right here, Gratomic could easily become a $4 per share stock by 2026. Of course, if we assume less dilution, the company might even be able to become a $5 stock by then. And if we compare that $4 price target to the current share price of about $20 cents, that is a 20x in share price right there. So depending on if Gratomic is able to get Alchem operational, well, if that happens, the stock will skyrocket. An investment in Gratomic therefore entirely depends on the likelihood of that happening. Will the company truly have 2 operational mines by 2026? Well, if so, an investor will most likely become extremely rich from an investment today. Will the company have delays upon delays upon delays, dilute itself massively in the meantime, and is unable to go operational at all? Well, then an investment doesn't really make sense. I am personally in the camp of believing that this company is able to pull off 2 operational mines. In fact, I have invested about 40 to 50% of my private investment portfolio in the company, depending on the share price. That is a roundabout of saying I am biased. Therefore, please do take all my opinions with a grain of salt. Before I sign out, I first want to point your attention towards the comment section down below. I would love for you all to comment your favorite graphite and anode material stocks down below so I can research them for the next freaking episode. With that out of the way, time for a classic YouTuber disclaimer. While I am a registered financial advisor in the Netherlands, I do not have the legal capacity yet to give anyone investment advice. Therefore, this video and any other video on this YouTube channel can never be taken as financial advice. I cannot be held liable for the losses you make while trading according to my opinions. Please do your own due diligence. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Peace.